explain our products in literally less than 15 seconds to a client. The reason why we did that was because we understood that selling dental was not necessarily the money maker for you. However, it was definitely a good door opener, a good way to get a referral, build relationships, supplement your other products, etc. So our philosophy behind this was basically to develop a plan that was simple to use, remove all the objections, and I think, Mark, did you just join the webinar?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I didn't know if you were coming in, but I began. Do you want me to start again?
No. I think everybody's on here, so I'm sure you introduced yourself. I was just running up the stairs, so.
No problem at all. So basically what we did is we had a product that we needed to take away all the objections. Why? To make it simple for you to use, or to make it simple for you to sell. Again, the main reason is because there is not enough money on a dental product to make it worth too much of your time. But it is a great door opener, like I mentioned before. So we have plans that are available to any age at the same rate. Why did we do that? Because we want you to be able to sit in front of somebody and tell them, listen, I have a plan that does the following, and this is how much it costs. Before you even know their name, you are able to tell them that. And then we wanted to offer immediate coverage on all the services. The main reason for that was that dental, unlike other insurance products, is actually designed to be used, to be utilized. Other insurance products, for example, life insurance, is not something you really want to use, correct? Well, dental is, some people will call it trading money. I'll talk about that in a second. But it's not really trading money. It's something that you use it and you get immediate satisfaction. So we allow you to use even major services on day one. And we give you some level of coverage on day one. And we also have everyday effective dates, meaning that you can actually sell a policy today to somebody who needs to go to the dentist tomorrow, and they will be covered. So that's really the three things that make us stand out from the competition. Let's talk about the product, and this is in most states, the one that I'm about to show you. If you're in the states shown above, we can talk about it later. Maryland, Massachusetts, and Washington, we currently don't have anything, and we have a very similar version in Connecticut, Illinois, and New York. If you are in those states, reach out to me and I will tell you what they are. But for most of you, for most of the states, Florida and everybody else, our number one product is the Advantage Plus. And I got to tell you that this product is really taking off, and you'll see why in a second. We cover all the preventive services at 100%. Why? Again, we want you to utilize the product. So your exams, your annual x-rays, your cleanings, those are covered at 100% because you got to feel that you're getting something out of this, right? And dental is something that people need to use to maintain good health and so on. So we are encouraging it by giving you 100% coverage. It's not a very different thing from other carriers, but we will get different in a second. With basic services, what we basically are calling the fillings and the simple instructions, we start you at 35% day one. After a year, and actually it's not really a year, after the calendar year is over, we increase you to 65%, and then you go up to 80. Notice that I say the calendar year. What does that mean? That means that when you hit December 31st, the client will be at a higher level. So if you sell a policy today, you only have to wait until December before you move up to the 65%. If you sell the policy in December 15th, you only have to wait 15 days before it goes up to 65%. It's a significant difference going by calendar year versus policy year. As you can see, ultimately basic services will be at 80% after you hit to December 31st. And then with major services, we start you at 15% day one until the next December 31st, and then you're at 50%. So if you sell it in November, you wait a month before you're at 50. If you sell it on December 29th, you wait a day. Imagine this product during open enrollment if you're selling MedSap. I mean, it's something that is going to give you 50% coverage in January. Wow, it's very powerful, right? And the other thing that I want to show you here is that this product actually covers implants. And I mention that because if you're working with seniors, that's a huge advantage. and it's a differentiator as well. We also have ortho coverage, and that is for children only. We do not offer ortho for adults. So for children, we do have ortho coverage, and we treat it the same way as major services. 15% day one until December 31st, and then 50%. And there is a separate bucket of $1,000 that they will have for ortho. Once the $1,000 is paid out, there is nothing left, okay? So it's a separate bucket. It doesn't come out of your annual maximum. To keep this simple, we have one deductible per person per year of $50. And we have a $2,000 annual maximum. And that $2,000 can be used any way you want. So if you want to use the full $2,000 on major services, that's fine. If you want to, mix it up between preventive, basic, and major, that's fine. But you have $2,000 every calendar year. So terrific policy. How do you sell this? So you meet somebody and you say, I have a plan that pays $2,000 a year on dental with a $50 deductible. Everything is covered day one. Preventive is at 100%. The rest of the services are an increase in benefit. By the way, if you have children, they also have an additional ortho bucket. It took me basically 10 seconds to tell you what the product does. Oh, by the way, we also cover implants on major services, and you do get benefits day one. I mean, it is really a very clean, straightforward, simple product to explain. By the way, if you have questions, please put the questions in the Q&A and I will address them at the end of the webinar. The truth is that this product is great, but maybe you don't need this much coverage. And we have a low version of the product called the Advantage 2. And this is something, for example, that I will buy myself. Why? Because I'm 43 years old. I happen to go to the dentist twice a year. I don't have any issues. So all I use normally are my exams and my cleanings. I do my annual x-rays, and so far I haven't had any issues. So I don't really need that much benefit. But I do want to have insurance, and it makes sense for me to have insurance. This is why. When I live in Minnesota, this plan costs $23 a month, the Advantage 2. So what I did is I went to my dentist, and I asked them, how much will it cost me to come and see you twice a year and get my exams, my cleanings, and my annual x-rays if I had no insurance whatsoever? And they told me that it was about $400 to $450. Great. So if I can buy this plan for $23 a month and get that taken care of, I'm going to save, a couple $100 by having the insurance and using it the way I do it anyway. So do you see why it's not a trading money? It makes sense. I have savings by doing exactly what I do and buying this plan. Not only that, but if I ever have a need for a crown or something bigger, I'm going to have coverage in the future. Why? Because this plan, as you can see, the preventive services are covered at 100%, just like the other one. But the additional services, they get 10% coverage day one, and that's everything else. 25% after a year, and that's December 31st, remember, calendar year, and then 50%. So if in a couple of years I need a crown, I'm going to be covered at 50%, which is what most insurance cover anyway, right? So that's great. I have a $1,000 annual maximum with a $50 deductible. So very simple. Again, how do you sell this? Hey, I have a plan, $1,000 a year of dental coverage per person. There is a $50 deductible. All your preventive is covered at 100%, and everything else will have an increase in benefit. Ultimately will be 50%. However, you have even major services coverage day one. Note one thing, this plan does not cover implants. So if you have a client that is interested in implants, definitely sell the Advantage Plus. So those are the plan designs. As you can see, straightforward, clean, easy. You have a high and a low. Here is your high, more comprehensive. Here is your low for somebody more healthy that doesn't have that much need. Either way, you save money by buying this plan if you are going to go to the dentist twice a year like you should. Okay, so now you understand the plan designs. Now these plans can be sold to go in network or out of network. We can sell it either way. So if you don't want to go into a network, fine, you can sell the plan. The only difference is how we pay claims. Now, Ameritas, Ameritas is a company that is in the top 5 in the dental space in the country. So it's a powerhouse. It's a powerful name in the dental industry. The dentist offices know of us, etc. And Ameritas has been doing this for a while, especially on the group side of things. And they built a network that is extremely powerful. Why? Because they had to compete with MedLife, with Guardian, with all the big names. And the Ameritas Classic Network was actually offered to us now on the individual space. And why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because our competitors on the individual space don't have anything that comes close to this network. We used to use at Security Life the Carrington network, the Maximum Care, Dentamax. All of those are leased networks, which are okay, but they're not great. I mean, they're half the size, actually 4 times smaller than this one. We have, as you can see, 427,000, it's a changing number, but over 430,000 access points, good persistency, dentists are happy with it, the discounts are in averaging 30%. So we have, by far as I can see, and I've been doing quite a bit of research, the best network in the individual space. So you have a very simple product with a terrific network, which ultimately is going to give the best economic value to your client. So the 2 plan designs, the Advantage Plus 2 or the Advantage 2, you can sell them to somebody that wants to go in network or somebody that wants to go out of network. Either way, the only difference is how we pay claims. The plan design is identical. It's how we pay claims. So if the client goes out of network, we pay claims based on the 80th percentile UCR. To explain this in a simple way, UCR is the usual and customary rate wherever you live. So for example, let's say that in your zip code where you live, there are 100 dentists. And let's say that out of the 100, 80 of them are charging $200 for a dental service. We are going to pay claims for that service based on $200 because that's what most of them do, the 80th percentile, right? Now, if you go to a dentist that charges $215 for the same service, the client will have to pay the additional $15 out of pocket. That's all it is. It's a true insurance. It's based on the UCR, the usual and customary rates. You know, this is what costs in your area. That's what we're going to pay claims based on. It's not a schedule policy. Some schedule policies basically say we're only going to pay, $30 for a cleaning. No, we actually pay based on the cost.
And Diego, for the basic and major services as well, sorry to interrupt, so you would pay the percentage that's listed on the Advantage Plus or the Advantage plan. That percentage would be based on the 80th percentile of usual and customary rates as well?
Correct. Okay. Correct. So, for example, if you're at a 50% major services, and let's say you do a crown, and the crown is $1,200, we'll pay $600 because that is the usual and customary rate, and the client will pay $600 because we're paying 50% co-insurance. And I will show an example in a second. And if you go in network, then we have the negotiated price between the dentist and the network. So we'll give you significant savings. So here is what I'm going to explain. Give me 1 second. Next slide. Okay, so for example, here it is. You can see the 80th percentile UCR on the crown is almost $1,200. If you go in network, the maximum allowable benefit, that's what we told the dentist, listen, we're going to fill in your calendar with clients. In exchange, you have to discount the price because we're going to bring volume to you. So it's the difference between retail and wholesale. So the dentist agrees to charge $748 if you go in network. If the dentist is not in network, it's $1,200, right? So you can see that the benefit to you, I mean, if you go out of network, you're going to pay $636, which is half of the $1,117. So you get about 43% in savings by going out of network. But if you go in network, you're going to pay $318, which is half of the $748 plus the discount. So you get about 71% savings of the original price in network. And you can see here the day one coverage is because we are using 15%, and you know, in the year 2, you're using the 50%. So day 1 coverage, you'll get 43% versus 71% after on the second year for a crown. This is the best economic value to your client by far. I mean, if with other carriers, if you want to do a major service procedure during the first year, you get 0 coverage. With us, in the first year, we can save you 43%. In the second year, we can save you 71%. That extra few $100 can go towards the MedSap, the life insurance, anything else you can sell. So your client will be happy. They will refer you to other people and help you grow your business. Here's another example. We know, and this is, I mean, we actually took our book of business and we also hired Gallup to do a study. And we know that the average senior today is spending almost $1,200 on dental insurance. What we did is we look at our 65+ population on our book, and we have a billion-dollar book. I mean, $2.5 billion in dental. So we look at the 65+ population, and 41% of them are utilizing the network, getting 30% in savings just by having that network. Not to say the co-insurance part of it or the insurance portion of it. So we're saving these people $300-400 just by buying this dental policy because they're using it anyway. They're spending that much money anyway. That's money that can go towards something else. So that's why we believe we're offering the clients the best economic value, because we have a very powerful network and we have a very good product that offers immediate coverage. So that's the dental. So let's review the dental. Plan A, Advantage Plus, that one is the more comprehensive, $2,000 of coverage, covers implants. The Advantage 2, that one is the healthier client, $1,000. And you can sell them in network, getting the negotiated price. Out of network, 80th percentile, usual and customary. That's simple. To complement the dental sale, we have vision. And with vision, what we did is we went to IMED and VSP, the 2 largest networks out there on the vision space. And we built a plan with each. So if your client wants to go to, Pearl Vision or LensCrafters or the type of retail thing, a store you see at a mall, maybe the IMED plan makes more sense. A lot of clients come out of a group policy and they're used to going to a VSP network because that's more common in the group space. Fine, we can give you a plan in the VSP as well. Like any network, you get discounts on the frames, on the glasses, things like that. You get discounts on LASIK, as well as insurance. These plans are, in essence, money savings, because if you need glasses anyway, you buy this plan, it's going to save you money. It's that simple. For example, an eye exam, if you buy the plan, will be covered on this plan, on the select plan, every single year. The lenses and frames and contacts, every other year. So you get a pair now, and then you have to wait every other year to get the second pair. And the way we do this is a copay system. You go into LensCrafters and you say, I want an eye exam. The exam is going to cost you $25. That's your copay. Everything else will be covered by the plan. To give you some reference, if you go without insurance, and you want to get an eye exam, it's going to cost you somewhere around $100 to $150. This is not just measuring your sight. This is actually looking at the health of your eye, when they actually dilate your pupils and looking at the nerves behind it and whatnot. So that's why it's going to cost you about $150 or $100 to $150 versus $25. Let's say you need frames. You have an allowance of $130 towards the frames. So if the frames are $200, we pay $130, you pay $70. But most people are able to find frames for $130. And then the lenses, regardless of the type of lens, you're going to pay $25. You can walk into Pearl Vision, get an eye exam, choose your lenses, get frames for about $130 or less, and walk away paying $50. I know people that pay $400 or $500 for the same treatment without insurance. There is also enhancements you can add to the lenses, which will increase the price a little bit. For example, if you want to get the anti-reflective coating, it's an additional $45. So keep that in mind. If you enhance the lenses, you're going to pay a little extra. But ultimately, this is only $10 per person per month, 20 for two, 30 for three, or for a family. It's very cheap. So for $120 worth of insurance annually, you're going to save potentially $300 or $400 in the eyeglasses. It sells very well with the dental. Let's say 50% of our dental policies come with a vision plan. You can also sell vision on a standalone basis, dental on a standalone basis, so you can sell them combined on the same application. So it's up to you. The other plan we have is the choice plan, and this one uses the BSP network. In this case, you can do an eye exam or get the contacts or the frames or the eyeglasses every single year. The exams are cheaper. The copay is only $10 instead of $25. The allowance for the frames or the contacts is a little higher, $150 versus $130, and more frequent. As you can see, obviously, smaller copays, higher allowance, better frequency. It's a little more expensive. It's $16 per month per person, $30 for two, $45 for a family. Still, great benefit. Choose your Kool-Aid. It doesn't matter. They're both inexpensive. $10, $16 a month is not going to break anybody. You're going to get significant savings. So they sell very well. It's really based on where they want to go to the eye doctor. Make sure the network is the right one. Okay, so I just show you the two dental plans, the two vision plans, and how do you sell it? I mean, how do we make it easy for you? Because remember what I told you, the technology that we have and the easiness of the plans is what is going to make it worth your time. If you can explain these plans in, a minute, and you can enroll somebody in 2 minutes and make a few extra bucks and get referrals and open a door and build a relationship and sell multiple products and grow your business, then I accomplished what I needed here. When you get appointed with us, through A&B, through senior market sales, when you get appointed with us, we automatically send you a welcome email. Welcome to Ameritas. Here is your hyperlink. So there is a link with your agent number embedded into it. Meaning, and we also even send you a button so you can say get a free quote or get a quote through here. You can put this on your website, on your Facebook account. It's a consumer-friendly tool. You can put it on your email signature. Whatever you want to do with it is up to you. The thing is that if somebody clicks on that, they're basically going to buy a plan without any intervention from you if you don't want to. If you don't want to do anything, fine. Send them the link, let them buy it, you're done. You'll make money. You'll make a commission. Why is this the best economic value to you, the broker? Because you have no investment. You basically have your own website to sell dental and vision without any investment. All you got to do is get appointed, and we even pay for that. So really, there is a tool personalized to you at our expense, right? You can start making money tomorrow. If you want to do it for your client, it will take you 2 to 3 minutes. If you want them to do it themselves, that's fine. They can do it themselves. Either way, you make money. So I showed you earlier the best economic value to your client because of the network and the simplicity, the immediate coverage. Here's the best economic value to you, the agent. So you click on your link, and something like this will open up. Your agent information, business address, phone number will be displayed. You can go into basically type a zip code. Plan coverage will be applicant plus one or family. And you can choose dental or vision and the effective date. The effective date can be tomorrow or any day in the next 3 months. Okay? Now know that if the client says, listen, I get paid on the 14th of every month, can you please take the money out of my account or my credit card on the 15th? Yeah, make the 15th the effective date. That's simple. So whatever day you choose is the day that every month will go after the money. When you display the plans, see plans, something like this comes up. I just want to show you what it looks like. Let me zoom in. Okay, so you see the two Advantage 2 plans. Advantage 2 Network and Advantage 2. Same thing here. You go down a little further. Advantage Plus 2 Network and Advantage Plus. What is the difference? Absolutely nothing. The plan design is identical. The only difference is that on the one that says network, we pay claims based on the negotiated price with the network that I showed you earlier, the discounted price. And in the one in the bottom, it doesn't say network, so we pay claims based on the UCR 80th percentile, the usual and customary rate. That's simple. Now, if you buy the second one and you go out of network, you go in network, you still receive the network discounts. But look at the first bullet. Designed for those who will utilize the Ameritas Dental Network. Great. In the second one, freedom to use any dentist with the opportunity to use the network. Okay? Obviously, if you're going to go in network, it's less expensive because we pay less on claims.
Diego, if you choose the Advantage Plus network plan and you choose to go out of network, do you still get the usual and customary charges, rates, or you just have no coverage out of network?
No, you get the network pricing. So we will pay. So that will be probably not a good idea because we'll still pay based on the network negotiated price. So let's say that you do a crown and the crown is $1,200. We're only going to pay based on $700 because $750 because that's what we agreed to pay on the network. So the client will get, a lot less coverage than they were expecting. They're thinking it's 50%. It's not going to be 50%, but we'll give you some coverage. So if you are going to go out of network, definitely double check, make sure, and if they're not in the network, sell the second one.
Okay.
Okay, but if you go with the second one in network, then fine. The dentist charges less. We're still going to pay 50% or whatever the co-insurance is. So very important to verify where they're going to go before you choose one or the other. Now, the good thing about this network is that it's very big, very extensive. It's a great network. The dentists know about it. If you say, do you take Ameritas, they'll know right away if it's yes or not. When we were Security Life, sometimes people, call the dentist, do you take Security Life? They didn't even know who we were. So having a powerful name is going to give you better service, make things easier for the agents, less questions. So just keep that in mind. These prices, by the way, are the prices today in my zip code in Minnesota. In Florida, there will be areas that is cheaper, areas that is a little more expensive, but they vary between, $2 or $3 more or less. You'll see them. When you go in here and view details, it will expand and show you the co-insurance. You can see 15% day one and then 50% after that and so on if you want to view the details. Remember, this is a consumer-friendly tool. So you can send the link to a client and they can buy it themselves. If you want to display the network, hey, it's my dentist on the network. You click on the link. It will take you into this screen. You can put in a zip code, city, whatever you want, search by mileage. It will show you the list of dentists in that network. This is something you can also email to the client, print it, and so on. You will see the functionality when you get into it. It's very intuitive. You get to the bottom, you selected your plan, you found the dentist in the network, purchase. This lady is going to come up, remind you about the vision. You can either skip it or look at the vision plans. And here they are. The select plan, iMet network, the choice plan, BSP network. You can click in there and put in a save code and see who is around your area if you want to. You can add the plan, either one. Go to the tab, proceed to the checkout, and this is it. How fast can you type the name, address, date of birth, gender, marital status, phone number, and email address? Most people can type this and go through those, few buttons in less than 2 minutes, less than 3 minutes. So depending on how fast you can type that information, go to the next one, put in the payment information. We highly recommend trying to get the checking account, the routing number and the account number and the bank name. That is easier. They don't expire, but you may use a credit card or a debit card as well. The thing is that those expire and you have to keep renewing it. So it's up to you. Get to the back.
Diego, what type?
Done.
Diego,
yeah.
Before you go into the next one, so you had said earlier before, if we select an effective date, that would be in the future. Let's say somebody wanted their policy, the money to come out on the 15th of the month. We select a 3/15 effective date, and then the reoccurring bill will be on the 15th of every month thereafter, correct?
Correct.
Now,
correct.
When will you draft that first policy premium, the binder payment, shall we call it, on the 15th, or will you draft that today because I'm processing the app today?
No, we'll do it on the 15th.
Okay.
So the app will go through, but no money will come out until the 15th.
Got it.
And the policy won't be effective until the 15th. So the client has to wait until then to go to the dentist and have coverage. Now, if you do it effective tomorrow, then we'll draft it tomorrow, and the client can go to the dentist tomorrow and have coverage.
Right. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, it's the day, the effective date is the day that we take the money out, and then the same day every month.
And if we did do a future payment in that example, is there a notification, or will you get to that as far as seeing if there's a notification of a payment failure?
Correct. We actually, we notify the agent in this case.
Okay.
That there was a failure, and we send a letter to the client saying, hey, this didn't work, send us something that works.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you get to the screen. If you're doing this for your client, the authorization agreement, you should read it. That's basically saying that you authorize us to debit their account. The limitations and exclusions you can skip because that is mailed to the client. And remember, they have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so they can cancel if they want to, but you don't have to read that. And the fraud notice is important that you read this small thing. I have read that. Review summary, you click on that button. Next screen is basically submitting the application. And in here you have the Advantage Plus Network, the Vision Select, $36 for dental, $10 for the vision, $47 a month. This confirmation email automatically goes to the client saying, hey, you just purchased a policy, thank you very much. Here is your premium, this is when it's going to come out. You can call your agent, you can call Ameritas, we're here to help you if you have any questions. The agent also gets an email saying, hey, congratulations on your sale. So this is important because if you put your link somewhere else in the website and somebody buys a policy, every time they buy a policy, you're going to get a confirmation email so you know that they're buying it. And then you'll see it on your commission statement, of course. So this is a pretty cool technology, personalized to every agent, a very powerful, simple product with a very good network. I really think we have a terrific story on the individual space. In terms of service, I like to mention this because this is also the best economic value to you, the agent. We have a really good call center with 100+ people in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I mentioned the word they're at because those are nice people over there. And these guys answer calls when it's a consumer within 15 seconds, when it's a provider within 30 seconds. I mean, they're top line. And this is going to save you time. You don't want to sell a dental policy where you don't make a lot because the premium is small and spend too much time servicing it. So we can give you that economic value because we have the support to support your clients and your agents and the providers and so on. In terms of an opportunity, I mean, anyone who doesn't get dental or vision through an employer is a potential client. It's that simple. If you don't have it through somebody else, you're a potential client. And not to say we love the seniors because they buy the policy and they stay in it for a long time, especially when it's sold with something else, like a MedSap or something like that. Here is another reason why we love the seniors. I mean, 71% of the employee seniors intend to keep their dental. So they like it, they need it, they're used to it. And they like to use it as well. So we have a win-win for them. And 58% of them already have it. Okay? So there is, if you're going to focus on somebody, we highly recommend the senior market. However, this works for everybody. The good thing about seniors is they don't get a job and cancel the policy. They stay on it for a long time. So that's why we can maintain the same rate and the same price for them. So that is it for now. If there are any questions, I'll be very happy to take them right now. My cell phone number is on the screen, my email. We have the Sales Connect team. Those are our internal sales team. They're also here to help you. If you're appointed with us and you don't have your hyperlink, they can resend it to you. I know the senior market sales marketers are also there to support you. They're very well trained on these products, and of course, A&B Insurance. Call them, get appointed. I don't know what is your process, Mark, to get appointed, but we are all here to help you and and support you with this.
Yeah, so everybody on the call has gotten, they've already gotten access to all of the documentation to get appointed, so they have that. And then that goes through Crystal under normal channels, everybody on the call, so that way we can get you set up and get you selling. So,
all right. I do see some questions in here. If you want me to, I can try to answer them right now.
Yeah, I know I've been reading through them, a couple of them as well. Is this policy also offered on a child-only basis, or does it have to be an adult with the child?
There has to be an adult with the child. It has to be 18 plus, so not child only.
Okay. And then you had mentioned there's some good questions in here that we're kind of accustomed to, where when we're addressing the maximum or the policy maximum benefit is there's been a bunch of questions on that. So typically with the dental plans that we've worked with in the past, the maximum dollar amount is the dollar amount that the carrier is actually spending for that member. So that the percentage, if it's a 35% or 15%, that would be going towards the money that actually is being paid by Ameritas is what's counting towards that $2,000. Can you just maybe explain or talk a little bit to that as far as how you get to that $2,000 maximum?
Yeah, it is $2,000 out of our packet. So if you do $1,000 service and we're at a 50% coinsurance, we're paying $500. You still have $1,500 left. So it's what we pay. We pay up to $2,000. However, you can get there.
All right. Another question that came through while you were talking was regarding the deductible. I assume this, but I'll make sure that I ask. Is the deductible applicable to preventative services as well as the other services?
It is. It's $50 per person per year on the first visit, basically.
Okay.
So it does apply to preventive, but it's rated or priced that way. So that will give you a better price as well by having that option.
Okay. The benefits that were listed, now I know that there's limited amounts of like brochures. I know that I had asked you earlier before when you had called about if you had any PDFs or any other brochures describing those benefits, because that way we can engage with some of our membership. So when we're looking at those benefits, all benefits listed are per person on the application. So for example, if there was 2 cleanings, that's 2 cleanings per person. If we're looking at the vision benefits, all of those vision benefits are per person that is insured, correct?
It is per person, correct, and the $2,000 is also per person. So if you have a couple, there is $4,000, $2,000 each. Okay.
Someone's asking a question about covering full mouth x-rays. Is there certain services that we need to be aware of that, a certain type of x-ray, those panoramic ones, for example, that are something that you don't cover, or is it typically an x-ray is an x-ray?
Yeah. So the bite wings, basically, those are the ones that are covered under preventive services. The panoramic are actually under major services. So that's a great question because it could be confusing. So the panoramic, I think, is every 5 years. Those will be covered at 50% under major services. So the bite wings, the annual x-rays are 100% covered by us day one.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. To be clear, when selecting the Advantage Plus network, still pays if you choose out of network based on the negotiated rates. And I think we covered that a little bit, but if we take the plan or we sell the plan that does not have the out of network benefits, you're just going to pay those claims based upon your normal network rate, which would be, they would be subject, or the insured would be subject to just paying more out of pocket, correct?
You got it. So yeah, with either version you buy, the network or the other network will have coverage. It's just how we pay claims, and we're going to pay less if you're in the network versus if you're in the network plan and you go out of network. Okay.
Now, Yvonne and I were talking about this this morning, and I had pulled the wrong brochure and actually sent it out into our drive. But just to be clear so everybody understands, there are no waiting periods for any services on the list here, anything that's dictated to a customer. It's just the amount that the carrier will pay for those services fluctuates based upon the time that they're getting it and what that. And if they had coverage before, Diego, that's not going to change or waive any of those percentages, correct? So if I had credible coverage.
We don't have takeover credit, so basically they will start day one benefit and then move on today. We are looking at actually offering takeover credit, but we're just not there yet systems-wise. So that's probably coming soon.
What information does the client present to the dentist to get the same day coverage? So I guess they wouldn't have, I guess the question is really, I write a policy with an effective date of tomorrow. They're obviously not going to have their identification cards or any of their information. What type of information do they need to provide to the dentist? So that
that's a great question. It doesn't happen very often that somebody goes the next day, but if that happens, that email that we send to them confirming the policy has our phone numbers, and the dentist office will have to actually call us and verify benefits, because we have no way of doing anything until the ID card comes out. So they have to call and say, I have this client bought a policy yesterday, this is their name, date of birth. We'll find them in the system, say, yeah, they bought coverage yesterday, this is what they have. So it will have to be done like that. Again, this happens not very much at all. Very, very few cases call the next day. Most people buy the policy and then make the appointment for a few days out, and by then they have the ID card. Once they buy the policy, once you submit this thing, the ID cards take about a week to get to the client, 7 days.
Got it. Okay. Does the preventative care count towards the calendar year maximum?
Yeah, so you have $2,000 and you spend, $300-400 in preventive, and you have another $1,600 towards basic or major. So it does count.
Okay.
But again, it's calendar year. Everything is calendar year. So let's say you buy a policy in November. You have $2,000 until December, and then you get another $2,000 in January.
Got it. Now, we've had this come up a couple of times with our current policies, but deep cleanings. More and more dentists are requiring these, quote, deep cleanings that they call it. How would that be treated under your set of plans?
It is major services. It's the endodontics, periodontics. That is major services.
Okay, periodontics. Let's just see here. Do they have portable coverage or national coverage no matter where they purchase the policy? So we have a lot of snowbirds here in Florida that go back and forth to other states. Would they have a problem getting services in their home state?
Not at all. This is any state. I mean, we treat it the same way, whatever plan they bought. The other thing is that they can even use this outside of the country. Some people like to go to Mexico. Then what they do is they go to Mexico to a certified dentist. They get the service done. They pay for the service. They get all the paperwork. They send it to us, and we reimburse them. So yeah, go anywhere you want.
Wow, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Will this policy coordinate if someone has two dental policies?
We don't coordinate benefits with individual policies. It's just too difficult to do. So no, we don't coordinate it. Now, what will happen is our policy will cover the procedure, and the other policy will cover whatever we don't cover. But it is not really designed for them to get cash out.
No. I don't think we were thinking even. I don't think the question was posed for cashed out. But if there was areas that were not covered by your policy, or if they've exhausted, their other, if they have another plan, a group dental plan that may have a $2,000 maximum, they've exhausted that, then you can just start using the Ameritas dental policy. I mean, that's
absolutely no coordination whatsoever. So definitely they can have two plans or two policies.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. We talked about billing options, notification of payments. And I don't believe there was. Question is there any waiting periods on the vision? I didn't think there was, but I'm looking back at my notes.
No waiting periods on anything.
Right. Okay.
Everything is day one coverage with us in dental and vision.
Okay, perfect. So what other questions does everybody have? I think I covered everybody, I kind of scanned through everybody's questions, and I think I've got most of them covered. Someone's asking about, do preventative services have to be more than 6 months apart? I don't know if that's applicable, or, if there's a timing on that.
It is not. It's twice a year. We don't have that 6-month rule. It's just twice a year. Once you use your two visits, you're done.
You're done. So, 2 and you're done. Okay.
2 and you're done. And again, if more questions come up, the Sales Connect team is there. You have my cell phone number. Please feel free to call us. I'm assuming as people start selling this, they will get more questions, and we're here to support you if we don't answer all of them today.
Perfect. I think really what I think that one of the big questions is just about getting the brochures or PDF, if you got any of those documents that we can kind of just have and review and use as some training materials. Yep. That'll help, and we could send them out. I've taken screenshots of all of your slides. I have actually this proposal I think that Brian had sent over to me from Senior Market Sales. I think it's a really exciting product. I know that Scott's had some pretty good luck with it in some of our testing, and Ryan has. And now that we're really kind of getting into it, I think that this helped a great deal, at least for myself, and I know for some of the questions that I had and that we were looking through. Does anybody have any other questions for him? For Diego, we can let him go for the day. And I know that he spent.
I see one question, Mark. It says, "What is Gemstar?" Gemstar is our group product. It's brochure-rated group product. I didn't cover that today, but I just wanted to answer that question.
Got it. Yep, Jimmy, we can take that offline as well for those people who are thinking about group. Roger is saying that he mentioned 6 states where services are not available. Please reflect again, especially Illinois. It's not that it's not available. Correct me if I'm wrong, Diego. It's just a different policy.
Yeah, we do have a product in Illinois. That one is, they just don't allow coinsurance that is less than 50%. So we have a 9-month wait on major. That is just the only difference, but it's almost identical. We do have product in Illinois and Connecticut. The only 3 states that we don't have product today are Washington State, Maryland, and Massachusetts. And we are hoping to have those soon.
Excellent. I think we got one other question. Do we have access to the network pricing for procedures? Is there any way to, I guess, and that's kind of a mythical unicorn, because I know with all of our other coverages, we never have that, a way to see what either that 80th percentile is or what the negotiated rate is?
We have a tool. I mean, if you have a specific zip code in an area and you want to see kind of the pricings, send a request to us or the Sales Connect. We have a tool that can give you a small list. I mean, but this list could be pages and pages and pages. We'll give you a list of the 10 most commonly used procedures or something like that. So on a reactive basis, we can provide that.
Okay, perfect. And that Sales Connect team would be great for that.
Yeah.
Well, Diego, I really thank you for spending the time today. This was a great meeting. It was nice to really going over everything and getting a chance to get the team to hear you talk about your product. And I've got this recorded so they can review it. And if we have any other questions, we'll shoot you an email or we'll get with the Sales Connect team and we'll get them answered. But I want to thank you and appreciate all the time.
Thank you very much. And I will be happy to send you the PowerPoint as well.
Perfect. I appreciate that. And thanks so much, Diego, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.